Hi, I'm Carrie Schochet with Purple Squirrel Advisors, and I've got Catherine here.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thanks, Carrie.
Well, we've had a lot of fun over the last several videos just talking on different EOS related topics. And, between recordings, we talked about hitting the ceiling. And I would love, Catherine, for you to describe what is hitting the ceiling and what do companies do about it?
Sure. Yeah. So in EOS, a lot of what we're doing is strengthening the 5 leadership abilities, and these help teams break through ceilings of different kinds, whether that's personally, whether it's as a department, or whether it's as a company overall. And sometimes as companies grow from, maybe I don't know, in a family-owned company, it's not unusual that you have several family members at different leadership team seats, for example.
Right.
And it may be that that skill that somebody had to manage the books when the company was $500,000 in revenue or even $2 million in revenue may not be the skills that you need to manage the company when it's 10 million in revenue or 100 million in revenue, because you may have things growing by orders of magnitude. And at that point, you might want to talk to a fractional CFO, or you might be looking for a new hire in that CFO seat. And I think that leadership team level is often where we see that hitting the ceiling as the company continues to grow. And one of the nice things about EOS is that when you have that happen, you can get really clear about it and help transition people within the company. It's not to say like we're all of a sudden kicking somebody out, right? We're looking for the right seat for that person, and they may love working for the new CFO if that's what winds up happening. So there's a lot of different ways to handle those kinds of situations. And I think that's one of the types of searches that you really specialize in, is working with those leadership team searches. So how does that work from your side?
Yeah, so no, it's a great, great discussion on this. And, what I love about EOS is that you make an org chart no matter your size, and you figure out those key areas of the business. And so what we have found, and we've worked with a number of companies that operate on EOS, and we love that they have an org chart and everything's well defined, but we do find that there's somebody that is sitting in multiple seats. And so then they have to decide which seat, would I be better suited to hand off to a specialist? And so that's when we've come in, and we, one situation comes to mind where we helped a company that was fairly large, over 50 million in revenue. And their president was also wearing the head of sales, head of finance, and I think head of operations hats. Wow. And so he decided he was going to give up the CFO or the finance seat. Yeah. And those are really impactful hires, because a lot of times when you've got an owner or an entrepreneur that's sitting in so many seats, it also is coming at a sacrifice, where they're working many long hours. They may not be able to go on vacation. There's something else that is suffering when you're sitting in that many of the key seats. And so we placed a CFO in a company operating on EOS, and a year later, the president said, this has changed my life. And that is such a gratifying, gratifying moment, to know, gosh, this, what we did helped somebody on both sides, actually, this, and so that's one example, but it takes a lot of time to scope out the role. And then I know there's also that piece of letting go of the vine, and having that person release the responsibilities, because that can be scary. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, that's probably a whole nother video for another day, the letting go of the vine. Because it is that magic piece that gets to the point where you have, business owners and leaders that can all of a sudden go to their kids' baseball games, or spend more time with their spouses or their grandkids, or whatever it is that, they've been wanting to do and putting off doing, because they're so committed to making sure the business works. And it's a really remarkable, I don't know, just beautiful thing to be part of when you get to watch that transition happen, when they get their lives back. Yeah, no,
it's really, it resonates with me, because one of my goals for 2021 is to go on vacation and put my out of office assistant on.
Yeah.
And then there would be a set of probably criteria of like, call me if XYZ occurs. But I have, I've been very hesitant to put my out of office assistant on for a long time. And so that's a personal goal, but it's also something my team needs to know about. So it's just one,
Yeah.
it's just a small
Sounds like it
example.
belongs on your issues list.
Probably, yeah. Well, thank you, Catherine. This has been so much fun. And for anybody who's watched the series, feel free to reach out and drop a comment here. Reach out to either one of us. Catherine, what's the best way to reach you if somebody wants to learn more about EOS?
Catherine at 87 plus. Be happy to talk about traction with you and your team.
Great. Well, thanks again.